evening, you're watching Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. The top stories on our desk this evening: government accused of using law enforcement wings to silence the opposition. AVAP calls for institutional reforms. Police in LUSAKA apprehend suspects on the murder of a 10-year-old boy. In international news, thousands turn out for Donald Trump's Texas rally. And in sports news, Zambia boosts chances of qualifying to the African Cup of Nations.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Once again, thank you for choosing us. The news in detail. The Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF Zambia, says the floods experienced in Zambia and Malawi during the 2022-2023 rain season are a reminder of the devastating effects of the climate change that it has on people. Speaking during the commemoration of the 8th hour Saturday evening, WWF Chief Conservation Officer Moses Nyirenda notes that the current situation calls for urgent measures to combat climate change in order to save lives and ensure food security going forward. Meanwhile, speaking at the same event, Ministry of Energy Director Arnold Simwava says there is need for both the public and private sectors to brainstorm on policies that will help combat climate change at the local level.
Climate change stands as a direct threat to Zambia's goal of becoming a prosperous middle-income country by 2030, as floods arising from this have continued to leave people homeless while destroying their agricultural produce, hence deepening poverty levels in the country. The country has in the recent years experienced drought and floods in selected parts of the country, with major consequences such as roads and bridges being washed away, hence cutting off people from key economic activities, with some farmers failing to take their produce to various markets. Countries such as Malawi are currently in distress as the country is battling Cyclone Fred, which is one of the effects of climate change, which has resulted in thousands being displaced and hundreds dying, while others have been declared missing. Commenting on the prevailing situation, the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF Zambia, says urgent action is needed before chaos breaks out on the planet. WWF Chief Conservation Officer Moses Nyirenda read the speech on behalf of the country director Nachila Lankombo during the commemoration of 8th hour Saturday evening.
The western part of the country was devastated, or has been devastated, by a heat wave that lasted the whole of February. When in LUSAKA we're experiencing very high rains, the western province had no rains at all. There was only 1 day of rain, and they experienced temperatures ranging from 30 to 39 degrees. So as we speak, the yields or crops in Western Province have been seriously compromised. That is an extreme effect of the Cyclone Fred.
Meanwhile, adding his voice to the topic, WWF Board Chairperson Elias Chipemo says charcoal burning has continued to be a threat to climate change, while no permanent solution is being put in place to phase out these fires.
And I want to call each one of us to action. Not a big grand action, just something simple that you can do every single day to contribute to preserving and protecting the earth that we all live upon and that we depend on.
Speaking at the same event, Minister of Energy Director Arnold Smwamba, who read the speech on behalf of Energy Minister Peter Kapala, called on stakeholders to suggest policies aimed at enhancing the fight against climate change to the government.
As a listening government, I'm sure we all know the current government is listening to you. We, as the Minister of Energy, we are on top of things, making sure that, we give information to each and every person who is there using energy. Now, here we are. I know you have come in your own personal capacity. I know you have got friends. The good message that you have gotten from here, let's make sure that we share with our friends who have not made it to come here.
Earth Hour is commemorated every last Saturday of March from 2030 to 2130 with an aim of switching off all lights as a sign of commitment to the planet. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
As residents continue to complain over the poor sanitation management in most parts of the country, the LUSAKA Water and Sanitation Company has assured that it is putting up measures in place towards mitigating the problem. Company Marketing and Public Relations Manager Shamba Muzungu notes that the increasing pollution is posing constraining sanitation provision through the sewer network. He tells Camnet News that they are taking a two-dimension approach to accelerate sanitation provision, exploring both off-site and on-site sanitation aspects.
Sewerage network coverage for Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, has remained limited amidst population increase that is pushing up the demand for the service. It has now become a daily routine to witness sanitary sewer overflow in the city, and with increased rainfall activities in the 2022-2023 season, the problem has been exacerbated as most communities witnessed flash floods, resulting in wastewater contaminating both surface and underground water. This is Lusaka's garden compound in Mandevu constituency.
Disaster on so vina boka nikole na vimanzi vipita pa mayati. Sorting up pembeko bomoti vimaponi vivaliwe.
The situation is the same in other communities such as Monali, Kawata and Lusaka Central constituencies.
And our sewer system is being now affected. So I've got small kids who are less than 10 years, 5 years. So definitely they may be affected. They may be sick. Like in our neighborhood, one of our neighbors had even typhoid the past 2 weeks.
WaterAid Zambia notes with concern that only 14% of the population in Lusaka is on sewerage network, while the rest of the population, estimated at 86%, were still using on-site sanitation. We spoke to Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company Marketing and Public Relations Manager Shamba Muzungu, who acknowledged the problem but was quick to state that they are taking a two-dimension approach to accelerate sanitation provision by exploring both off-site and on-site sanitation aspects.
The issue of sewer network coverage, the approach is twofold. So with our expanded mandate now, which also looks at on-site sanitation. On-site sanitation meaning we have septic tanks as well as improved pit latrines. So in terms of our approach now, we are not only going to focus on the sewer network, as it were, but now we are also going to focus on improved pit latrines and septic tanks.
National Water Supply and Sanitation Council Chief Inspector Peter Mutale gave a perspective of the regulator on the matter.
What we are now doing is that where we can put storage facilities, that is being done. But of course, they are quite expensive, and we may not be able to cover a lot of people. But in 2018, what we did was that we came up with a regulated framework and provision framework, so that if people are not on the storage, how do we regulate those that are on on-site sanitation, that is septic tanks and pit latrines? That is provided for in the Water Supply and Sanitation Act, that MWASCO will regulate both what is sewer and those who are on on-site sanitation, which is septic and pit latrines, and so are the commercial utilities. they are not only restricted to sewerage, but also to septic tanks and pit latrines.
The National Water Supply and Sanitation Council Urban Water Supply and Sanitation Sector Report for 2021 indicates that sanitation coverage for Lusaka Water and Supply Sanitation Company stands at 77.9%, reflecting better than the relevant average, but the benchmark has not been achieved. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Central Province Minister Credo Nanjoa has told Camnet News that the construction of the Lusaka-Ndola Dual Carriageway will benefit the people in his jurisdiction. He says a long stretch of the road covers Central Province, which the locals stand to benefit from the 3,000 jobs estimated to be created under the project. Mr. Nanjoa points out that the road will be vital in combating road traffic accidents, which are more frequent along the Lusaka-Ndola stretch. The minister says once completed, the road will also contribute to attracting investment in Central Province, especially in Kabwe and Kaperimposhi.
Central Province is likely to benefit more in terms of, because the road, most of it is in Central Province. Over 230, 240 kilometers is within Central Province, traversing through 4 districts. And this is a place where we had so many accidents. Nearly every week, twice, 3 times, we have had fatal accidents. So we are seeing this as a benefit because our people now will be safe. These accidents will be minimized to some very high degree. So that's one of the benefits that we are looking forward, and also the creation of jobs. 3,000 jobs are estimated to be created during the construction of this road, and we are seeing that many of our youths are going to get jobs directly and indirectly when some of our people, also companies, are going to have will be subcontracted under this road. So also they will create more jobs. So jobs will be created, business opportunities will be created. The province will become beautiful and attractive to investment. So these are some of the benefits that we are looking as provincial administration in Central Province, and we are very excited about it.
Leader of the opposition in Parliament, Brian Mundubile, has urged the United Party for National Development not to be tempted to convert Zambia into a one-party state, but focus on addressing social and economic challenges. He was backing the perception from governance activists, suggesting that the ruling party could be empowering law enforcement agencies to deal with perceived opponents of the ruling party. Mr. Mundubile, who is also PF presidential candidate, says government should focus on addressing the kwacha depreciation, lack of medicine in hospitals, high bus fares and meal prices. Mr. Mundubile alleges that the UPND administration is trying to instill fear in the minds of the citizens so that they do not associate, speak and move freely, which are traits of a one-party state. He believes that most arrests of former government leaders are politically engineered.
We agree with the sentiments from Comrade Ruben Lifuka, the TIZ Vice Chairperson, that what we are seeing traits of a one-party state. This is ranging from weaponization of law enforcement agencies. These agencies are now being used as tools to suppress rights of citizens. Look at how many arrests have been effected the past 1 year. If you interrogate and find out the nature of these offenses for which these arrests have been made, you come to the realization that the government is just weaponizing these law enforcement agencies.
Meanwhile, the United Party for National Development is confident and satisfied that the party will emerge victorious in the forthcoming local government by-elections in Serenje, Tililabombwe and Luposonshi District Senate for 20th of April 2023. In an interview, UPND Youth Deputy Spokesperson Phineas Pomolo explains that the party adopted candidates who understand the mandate of the UPND, which focuses on transforming the lives of the people. He has reaffirmed the party's commitment to bringing development to all parts of the country. Meanwhile, Mr. Pomolo has warned some unnamed businessmen to desist from sponsoring the opposition Patriotic Front on bringing confusion in the UPND. Let's look at this.
With a few days remaining till the people of Serenge, Chilila Wombo and Lupo Sonji district elects their preferred candidates in the forthcoming local government by-elections, every political party is confident of carrying the day at the end of it all. The Electoral Commission of Zambia set the 20th of April 2023 as date for local government by-election in Muchinda Ward of Serenge Town Council, in Central Province, Chitumukulu Ward of Chilila Wombwe Town Council, on the Copper Belt Province, and Katilie Ward of Lupo Sonshi in Northern Province. In Serenge, the by-elections were occasioned by the resignation of Patriotic Front Councillor Doris Aikona, who was also the Vice Council Chairperson for Serenge. The ruling UPND is confident of emerging victorious, adding that the candidates adopted by the party understand the party's manifesto of transforming and improving the lives of people. The party, through its youth deputy spokesperson Phineas Pomolo, has urged all political parties participating in this by-election to exercise peaceful campaigns.
We don't expect to lose any by-election this time around, because in this shortest period that we have been in government, we have scored a lot. The people of Zambia have seen unprecedented development in our country, something that has never been seen before. The development that we have brought in our country is very much immense. The only thing that I want to appeal to electorate in these wards which are having by-elections, it is to make sure that they have campaign-free elections, because we as a country, we are now above the politics of hooliganism or the violence. We want to continue to see peaceful elections going forward.
Meanwhile, Mr. Pomolo has warned some unnamed businessmen to desist from sponsoring the opposition to bring confusion in the UPND.
We want to appeal to our colleagues in Patriotic Front to heal, and then let's develop the country together. We must be partners in development. This issue of wanting to sabotage the government in this way, it is very sad. We have seen a statement which was issued by Honorable Monia Zul, which is uncalled for, because they knew that we were going to have the delegations from World Bank. So that one was a calculated move to make sure that they point out the key ministers that they are alleged involving in corruption, which is something which is uncalled for. As a party, we want once more to appeal to all well-meaning Zambians to make sure that we partner and develop the country together, because this country can only develop by us as Zambian. We should know that what time to do politics and what time to talk the issues. But our colleagues, it seems that they want to be talking politics each time, every time they want to be talking politics. But as a party, UPND, we know that we're in government and we know what the people of Zambia expect from us. We made promises.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The anti-voter apathy project has called for institutional reforms to strengthen Zambia's democracy. Organization Executive Director Rachel Mulwani regrets that critical institutions like the Office of the Auditor General are not fully independent from the executive arm of government. Mr. Mulwani notes that currently it is difficult to expect credible reports from the Office of the Auditor General, given that changes that are taking place at the institution. He is also concerned that the serving Auditor General, Dick Sichembe, is equally facing corruption charges. This week, the United States is co-hosting the second summit for democracy with governments of Costa Rica, Netherlands, Republic of Korea, and the Republic of Zambia.
Help enhance accountability in the country, and the Auditor General is one of those institutions. Anti-Corruption Commission is one of those institutions, and many other government agencies that are supposed to actually provide that oversight role when it comes to how cabinet, to how the policymakers are supposed to actually behave. And this is why, as AVAP, we feel that a lot of reforms has to be undertaken in our country so that we are able to have independent institutions that are going to operate outside the executive, so that when it comes to accountability, actually, there's no political engagement, political interference that people may perceive at a particular time. So as AVAP, we want to see reforms that are going to enhance transparency and also confidence by the people out there, because surely such kind of institutions, they are very, very important to strengthen the capacity of the country and also to demonstrate to the international world that as a country we are committed to ensure that the resources of the country are protected from being robbed off.
Mbabala Constituency Member of Parliament in Southern Province, Joseph Monsanje, has challenged farmers to practice crop diversification if they are to survive the effects of climate change. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Monsanje notes that once all farmers embark on crop diversification, this will address the challenges of raising food prices and other essential commodities. Mr. Monsanje says as the country recovers from its economic doldrums, there is need for farmers in the country to embark on crop diversification in order to enhance food security. Meanwhile, the lawmaker has called on the opposition political parties that are inciting people to demonstrate over the rising prices of meal and other essential commodities to desist from doing so.
Definitely we wish to urge our people in Mbabala constituency and countrywide in farming areas, rural areas, to invest their time in crop diversification. By crop diversification we mean basically putting or planting a variety of crops, not only depending on maize. I know that.
Apologize for that break in that clip. However, we continue with the news. Over 600 farmers in ZAMBIA District, Southern Province, have been engaged in sustainable intensification practices that sustainably increase agricultural productivity to support equitable increase in farm incomes. ZAMBIA District Commissioner Rabson Mulamfu says sustainable intensification of smallholder farming systems in Zambia, funded by the European Union, is also increasing food security and development among rural communities. Mr. Mulamfu observed that sustainable intensification practices are also a means of adapting and building resilience of agriculture and food security systems to climate change.
Over 600 farmers in ZAMBIA District have been engaged in sustainable intensification practices that sustainably increase agricultural productivity to support equitable increases in farm incomes. ZAMBIA District Commissioner Robson Mlamfu said the sustainable intensification of smallholder farming systems in Zambia, CIFAS, funded by European Union, is also increasing food security and development among rural communities.
The sustainable intensification practices we have seen today do not only sustainably increase agricultural productivity to support equitable increases in farm incomes, food security and development. They are also a means to adapting and building resilience of agricultural and food security systems to climate change.
And ZAMBIA District Agriculture Coordinator Alfred Sanjasen said the CIFAS project, supported by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, has assisted farmers in Muzia, Luyaba and Siamafumba in Chief Simatachela's chiefdom.
It's important that farmers are able to use smaller pieces of land in order to get maximum crop production. Of course, bearing in mind that climate change in the country is real, especially in Southern Province, and ZAMBIA is part of the districts in Southern Province which is so much affected by climate change.
And host farmer Edwin Vuka has this to say.
Senaka shonto ndatebura uguria gwinji na impindu ninji mukaondavi wakashonto kamukuti bandikulwaisa kwamba kuti gendi jana kuyusangania zishango mujindi jomwe na mukaoni hekita atisi gendi jese izishango ziri ziovire so mbobo tumbona jana musifazi.
Reporting Lawrence Kabutu in ZAMBIA, Southern Province.
You're watching Camnet News. We take our first set of commercials. When we return, we have more interesting stories. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. Chikondi Vanda's suspected killer has confessed to killing the minor, saying his motive was not to take the child's life but extort money from the parents. Last week, Chikondi 10 was reported missing and was found dead in a maize field in Lusaka's Emersdale area. The body of the juvenile was discovered by some residents who were harvesting maize. Sunday, 26th of March 2023, police deputy spokesperson Danny Mwale said during interrogations of the 3 suspects were arrested yesterday in connection with the murder of the 10-year-old boy. One suspect, identified as Nalukui Akafekwa, 24, of Garden Compound, narrated to the officers how he picked the boy from the school. Mr. Mwale said the suspect told officers that he picked Chikondi on the 17th of March 2023 until the time he murdered him and later dumped him in a drainage near a maize field in Emersdale area. He says the suspect revealed that the boy was murdered on the 17th of March 2023 between 20 and 21 hours. He explains that Nalukui led police officers to where he committed the crime from and also revealed that his motive was to get money from the boy's parents. Mr. Mwale said Nalukui lives in the same neighborhood with the deceased family members in Garden Compound. The suspect said together with other suspects are in police custody awaiting to be formally charged. Child rights activist LUSAKA has bemoaned the delay by government to distribute free sanitary ware in both rural and urban schools. In an exclusive interview, Ms. Kilale urges the government to expedite the process as the distribution of free sanitary ware was provided for in the 2022 national budget to encourage girls to remain in school. She says the delay will result in the majority of girls, especially those in rural areas, missing classes. Meanwhile, Ms. Kilale has urged the government to consider formulating a policy that will compel the provision of free sanitary towels under the Constituency Development Fund. She has observed that menstrual hygiene remains one of the key determinants of girls' regular attendance of class, and lack of sanitary pads contributes to absenteeism, among other things, in schools.
So we're so happy with the move by the government to continue with where the PF had left in the distribution of sanitary towels in rural and peri-urban schools. But then what we want is for government to give a timeline. When are they going to do it, and how often will they be doing it? Just saying they will do it is not enough. We need them to actualize this and also to expedite the process. You know, girls do this every month. They can't just wait. Maybe we're talking of 3 months from now or 4 months from now. That's too late. I mean, we're almost coming to the end of the term, and another term they'll be opening for the new term after next month. So what we need is government to tell us when they're going to do it, and also how often will they be doing this. Further, like you said, we need to find ways and means of how government alone cannot do it, but we all need to complement these efforts. And that's why we're saying, if it's possible that the CDF, the Constituency Development Funds, if councils and you know, others involved in the process of the CDF can get involved, and also make sure that this is something that they put in the CDF as well. Girls also need to benefit from the CDF. I mean, it's their money as well. Their parents are paying, they're paying as well. It's important that they pay taxes. That's what I mean. So it's important that I put this and that girls benefit. I mean, these are the future leaders. If we're going to invest in their education, by investing in sanitary towels, we're actually investing in their education. If we're going to give them access to menstrual products, it means girls will, you know, improve on their performance at school, performance in their chores at home, and just various activities, which is important for the economic growth of the country.
Residents of Mufumbwe District, Northwestern Province, have complained over the continued shortage of essential medicines in public clinics and hospitals in the area. In an interview, some residents have called on the Ministry of Health to ensure availability of essential drugs in hospitals to safeguard people's lives. They have also expressed concern over the lack of proper health facilities in the area, stating that Zambia is not LUSAKA only, hence the need to ensure inclusive health.
Here we are, as you can see, gathered as a group. We just want to bring to your attention, as our government, the new Doni government under the leadership of His Excellency, our able leader, President Hakainde Hichilema, whom we suffered to vote for. We have suffered for so long from all the past times. Up to today, we don't have medicines in our hospitals. And when you come to Mufumbwe, you would find that when the medicine come, it will be started being distributed in the morning. By 12 hours, it is depleted. The reason is simple. We have a big population in the Mufumbwe, number one, and we only have one clinic and one hospital. So our appeal to the government is, may you please help us build or construct clinics. When we have more clinics in the district and the wards, zones, you may find that even when the medicine comes, everyone will be catered for. People are dying of malaria, and this time around, they are being told you come for an injection at 24 hours. And those people are coming from very far places. How are they going to manage going at Mufumbwe Clinic 24 hours, to be specific? So people are complaining, as you can see here, they are complaining, we don't have medicine. Our appeal to the Minister of Health, Madam Sylvia Masevo, you were appointed as a minister to help everyone. Zambia is not LUSAKA only. Even Mufumbwe is Zambia.
We take another break. Still to come, sports and international news. Stay with us.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Television, not just another channel.
Cabbages, onions, maize, potatoes, tomatoes, chilies. At Rainglow, we supply great quality irrigation for the mentioned crops and more at an affordable price. Get our 2,000 meter flat drip for as low as 2,900 kwacha, or our 500 meter round hose for 1,300 kwacha. Customize your own spacing with our 500 meter blank round hose going for 1,200 kwacha, ideal for orchards such as avocado, mango, banana, oranges, etc. Rainglow Irrigation, best quality, best price.
Welcome back. In international news, Donald Trump has opened up his campaign to win back the U.S. presidency by railing against the dark forces which he says are lined up against him at the airfield rally in Waco, Texas, in front of thousands of supporters. The former U.S. president called the New York City investigations into hush money payments and expletive. The campaign event marked Trump's return to a traditionally conservative state in which he remains very popular. Here is a roundup of international stories.
His parents miss him.
The family of a South African held hostage by jihadists in Mali for over 5 years launched a fresh appeal for his release on Saturday.
It's been too long.
47-year-old Gerco van de Venter was kidnapped in Libya on November the 3rd, 2017. Van de Venter, an emergency paramedic who was working for a security company, is the only South African citizen held hostage by a non-state actor in the Sahel, according to his wife. The appeal takes place days after the release of French freelance journalist, 48-year-old Olivier Dubois, and 61-year-old American aid worker Jeffrey Woodka, respectively kidnapped in 2021 and 2016. As Muslims around the world mark the holy month of Ramadan, prisoners in Somalia will also be able to join in the celebrations. Close to 4,000 detainees in 12 establishments across the country received food for the traditional iftar meal distributed by the International Committee of the Red Cross. We are distributing the foodstuffs to detainees, so they feel part of the joy of Ramadan, like people outside do during fast. Among the items distributed were goats, dates, lentils, milk, sugar, a mix of spices, cooking oil, tomato paste and tea leaves. It is the holiest month of the 12. We thank God and we are excited about the arrival of the month. It's a month we have been waiting for. This year's holy month of Ramadan comes at a time when Somalia is in the midst of one of its worst droughts on record.
Dressed for the occasion, die-hard Donald Trump fans turned out in their thousands for this air-filled rally in the Texan city of Waco. The legal threats hanging over the former president at the forefront of some of their minds.
If Trump got arrested for the charges they're talking about now, I would vote for him 10 times over, okay? Because if he was a Democrat, it would never come up.
Donald Trump is for America and he fights for Americans. The far left doesn't like that, and so that's why they keep attacking him.
It was his first public appearance since speculating a week ago that he would soon be arrested. New York prosecutors are investigating alleged hush money payments made on Donald Trump's behalf to former adult film star Stormy Daniels. Addressing the crowd, he claimed it's been orchestrated by President Biden.
The District Attorney of New York, under the auspices and direction of the Department of Injustice in Washington, D.C., was investigating me for something that is not a crime, not a misdemeanor, not an affair.
Donald Trump went on to cast the 2024 presidential vote in apocalyptic terms, using language that some analysts warned could be dangerous.
And if you look at what President Trump said tonight, things like, if we don't win in 2024, we won't have a country. It'll be over. World War III. Take our country back. These are things that he knows are whistles to this crowd, and he's trying to rile them up, which is unfortunate because we saw on January the 6th that riling this base up caused violence and death.
Donald Trump insists he still has a bright political future ahead of him, but he'll need to overcome some pretty big legal and electoral challenges in order to achieve it. Shelley Phelps, BBC News.
Let's look at sports news now. The Zambia national team has boosted its chances of progressing to the Africa Cup of Nations after beating Lesotho in a back-to-back fixture. The Copper Bullets wounded Lesotho by 2-0 courtesy of Patson Daga to accumulate 9 points, with 2 games remaining against Comoros and Ivory Coast respectively. Zambia will need a point to qualify from the last 2 games if Ivory Coast beat Comoros. Well, congratulations to the lad, and we wish that they progress to the next stage. The headlines once again as we end this evening's bulletin. Government accused of using law enforcement wings to silence the opposition. AVAP calls for institutional reforms. Police in LUSAKA apprehend suspects of the murder of a 10-year-old boy. In international news, thousands turn out for Donald Trump's Texas rally. And in sports news, Zambia boosts chances of qualifying to the Africa Cup of Nations. We look at the verse of the day. It is coming from Hebrews 11, verse 1, and it reads, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Thank you so much for watching Camnet TV. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Good night.